Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Sipiso, and I will be your moderator for the day. To kick things right off, please take note of the sounds and notification slide that is currently up on your screen. This is so that you guys are able to minimize any notifications that might come through. Please note you'll also be able to turn your notifications back on once you are done with the presentation. You can also take note of the Q&A box that is available to ask any questions you might have to the professor. Should you wish to do so, you can just mention that you would like to ask the questions live, and I'll be sure to give you presenter rights so that you're able to ask Professor Kalam at the end of the presentation, where we will have a post webinar Q&A session. Please take note of the common questions that people normally have regarding the webinar. So today's webinar is the Doctor of Engineering webinar. It actually is a toolbox chat where we impart knowledge on a Doctor of Engineering application or how to go about pursuing a Doctor of Engineering qualification. You will receive a copy of the slides as well as a recording of this particular webinar. However, as this is an info session, we always mention that there are no certificates of attendance for this particular webinar. This webinar is particularly made for people who want to pursue a Doctor of Engineering qualification and they would like knowledge from an expert on how to do so. If you're looking to attend a webinar that has a certificate of attendance, you can go ahead and join the webinar that will start later on in the day. You can go to the EIT website and register for that webinar. However, this one is solely for people who have interest in actually enrolling for a Doctor of Engineering program. As I've mentioned, you will receive both recording and PDF slides of this particular webinar, and they will be sent to you by the marketing team. Okay, so today's topic is going to be data analysis as well as techniques with modern tools, and it will be presented to you by Emeritus Professor Akhtar Kalam, and he will be taking care of the presentation. If you're new here, let me tell you a little bit more about EIT. We are an engineering specialist offering engineering qualification from a professional certificate to a Doctor of Engineering. We also offer industry-oriented programs, meaning that the programs are catered to the needs of the industry, and then we develop the programs rather, and obviously provide them to our students. We are a world-class Australian accredited education provider, and we are registered with the Australian government. We also have some international recognition for some of our courses, the advanced diplomas under the Dublin Accord, our bachelor's degree under the Sydney Accord, as well as our master's degrees under the Washington Accord. And then we offer a unique delivery model, meaning that you can study all of our programs 100% online, or should you choose to do so, you can study a select few, that being our bachelor's, master's, as well as our Doctor of Engineering in our campuses over in Australia. Okay, that is it for me. As I've mentioned, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the chat box or the Q&A section, and I will attend to them. Should it be a technical question relating to the contents of the webinar, then I will for sure ask Professor Kalam to answer. That is it for me for this presentation. I will meet you in the end. Professor Kalam, over to you. Thank you so much. I will see you at the end of the presentation as well. You can also take control of the slides, sir.
Thank you very much, Shipisho. Can you hear me all right?
Loud and clear, Professor Kalam. Yes, you're very audible.
Thank you very much. And before I start this presentation, this is a very long presentation. Shipisho has already pointed this out to me when I was preparing it. I want to tell you there's a reason for this, and I will mention to you. The whole reason is that I'm giving you all the information and you can take care of it yourself. If I go beyond the time, then I would stop. So I'll make sure that I cover the most important salient point rather than teaching you how to do programming. Now, coming to the presentation, Shipisho, can you put the presentation on? Or
so the presentation is up on the screen,
yeah.
Professor Kalam.
Now it's on. Thank you very much.
No
So
problem.
first of all, again, it keeps on disappearing, Shipisa.
I am here, Professor Kalam.
Yeah, that's all right. It keeps on disappearing and coming back. Anyway, no problem. What am I going to talk about today? Very simple. Why use modern tools? Introduction to data analysis, right? Introduction to data analysis is the other thing that I want to talk about. And again,
Professor Kalam, would you prefer if I take control and then you can just tell me to move the
yeah,
slides?
that's true, because from my side, it keeps on disappearing.
I hear you. Let me just take control and then
I'm in slide number 7, please, if you don't mind.
you are actually on slide number 7, so it is moving.
Okay, good. Now, first thing I'll be talking about is why use modern tools. And that is the first thing I'm going to talk about, right? Then the Supisha, again, it has disappeared. I better give you the control, sorry.
I'm taking control,
Yeah,
Professor
yeah, you've
Kalam, no
taken it.
problem
Yeah.
at all. Just tell me to move the slides and I will do that for the
Can you
entirety
move
of
the
the
slide, please? Can you
presentation.
go to the slide number 8, please?
We are.
Yeah, but I can't see it. That's a problem. I just see EIT Engineering Conference.
Okay, just a moment, please. Let me reload the slides for you, and then you can then, okay, let me just reload the slides and then you can tell me if you are able to see this. Just a moment, please.
Yes, yes, yes. Now I can see it. Now I can see it, Sipisha.
Okay, let me just move to slide number 8 for you.
Thank you very. Again, it's disappeared. Again,
I
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Now it's gone.
Okay, Professor Kalam, I do think it might be because of your VU email address. Um,
Can
okay,
I just move this? Can you give me 1 minute, please, if you don't mind?
of
I'll
course,
move it to another screen and see if I can see it from the other screen, because I use 3 screens.
no
Now,
problem, sir.
okay, give me 1 second, please. No, it keeps on disappearing again. No, I
Okay,
can't do anything.
let me try another way for you. Possibly I can share this from my actual screen, and then it should be sharing from a screen rather than sharing from my PowerPoint Live. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
This is
is
much
it
better.
disappearing?
Yeah. No, it is. Again, it disappeared. I don't know what's happening. Something is. See, it's all right now.
Okay,
Yep,
we
it's
are
all
on
right.
slide number 8.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
all good. Should I
Fine.
go to 9?
You will be moving the slide. Is that right?
I can
Or
move the slides for you, no issues.
okay. Thank you very much. So I'm in slide number 8. The first question is, why use modern tools? Can you go to the next one, please? Yes. Fundamentally, there are 4 reasons. The most important reason is that we want our system to be efficient. Remember, we are not talking about a century which is the 21st century. We want automation. We should be able to handle large databases, and we should be able to reproduce and have transparency. And lastly, we want to integrate with data sources and visualization platform. Next, please.
This is the next slide, Professor.
Yep. Are you in slide number 9, please?
We have passed slide number 9. We're on slide 10
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Yes, yes, you've got it. Good.
Yes.
But as I said, this is introduction to data analysis, right? And let's do the introduction. Can we go to slide number 11, please?
We're
And
on slide number 11.
okay. Now, what is data analysis? This is an interesting thing because it helps us to convert raw data into meaningful insight. It is not just about numbers. It's about finding patterns, relationships, and implications. So data analysis is a part of the research life cycle, which is very important for us because we want to discover useful information, conclude and support decision making. Slide number 12, please. Now, I want to compare two things and explain to you what is quantitative and what is qualitative. Next, please. When we talk about quantitative, I'll give you the examples. When I give you the examples, then you will understand. When I talk about quantitative, this is basically numerical, and you can do statistical analysis. When I talk about qualitative, this is the data is textual or visual and requires interpretation through coding and categorization. So fundamentally, the analysis is thematic and it has content. Next, please. Now, the quantitative and qualitative data differ in their approach to understanding data. The quantitative analysis focuses on numerical data and statistical methods to identify patterns and recognition, whereas the qualitative analysis explores non-numerical data like text, images, and observation so that you can understand the meanings, experiences, and present perspective. So if you look at it, I've given you a great slide which shows you how the definition is, what are the collection methods, what it is best for, what are the analysis for, what are the examples of question, and I've given you some sort of data example. Okay, next please. Now, when we want to focus on quantitative versus qualitative data, the qualitative research focuses on understanding the concepts and experiences. And you are doing this through non-numerical data like interviews and observation. You want to take interviews, and with the help of interviews, you are deciding what your data analysis will be like. And that is what I call qualitative data. With the quantitative data, which most of us use, especially in engineering side, we are more or less dependent on measured variables. We look at tests, we look at theories, we look at numerical data, such as surveys and experiments. We do work in our lab, and then we do the analysis. So there's a subtle difference. If you look at the last row, the quantitative one is basically survey and experiments, whereas qualitative one is interview and focus group. So one is textual, the other is numerical. Next, please. So if you look at the two, I can look at that and say that the qualitative one has got gender, religion, martial status, native language, social class, qualifications, type of instruction, method of treatment, type of teaching approach, problem solving. Whereas the quantitative one, it talks about the exact age, height, weight, income, size of the university, group size, self-efficiency test, percent of lectures attended, clinical skills performed, laboratory experimental done, what sort of error functions are there. That's a subtle difference between the quantitative one and qualitative one. Next, please. In the quantitative data analysis, we have the following software. And look at that, how many softwares we have in the quantitative one. We have these more or less the 7 software that I could choose. One is called the SPSS. This is very popular, SPSS. You do all sorts of statistical analysis of complex data in various fields. And normally you use it in social science. I'm presuming we are all engineers over here. So I would not use SPSS. Excel sheet, everyone uses Excel sheet. But that's become outdated now. Not very specialized. especially you are looking at data management and reporting. It's very common. Everyone uses Excel sheet. Then the SAS. SAS is the one which is a very comprehensive system, especially if you want to do statistical analysis, data management, and reporting. So if you look at it carefully, it is more or less something which is very simple to SPSS. It's an advanced form of SPSS. Then comes this one that I love, Python. Python is a modern program languages, and it has languages like NumPy, Pandas, SciPy. It is used for data analysis and statistical modeling. When my students come to me and ask me, Professor Kalam, what sort of software should we use? As all my students are engineering students, I tell them to use Python. I can tell you right now, those days have gone when we used to use Fortran, C, C++, and all those wonderful software that we use. Now, industry is looking for those type of graduates who've got Python background. So that is a very important thing, and I'll show you some examples of that. Then comes the JMP. This is also statistical software. It has a user-friendly interface, and it has good sort of statistical analysis capabilities. Then the other one is Stata, which is again a statistical software, but is mainly focused in econometric analysis. Then the other one is R. R is an open source programming language and environmental for statistical computing and graphics. I will be talking on quantitative data analysis on two of these packages. One is R, the other is Python. The rest of them, I leave it to you. Whichever area you are in, you can easily find out and you can do it yourself. Next, please. The quantitative one. In the quantitative one, the first one and the foremost one that I want to talk about is NVivo. This is a very powerful software for organizing, analyzing, and visualizing qualitative data. This includes text, audio, video, and images. The other one is Atlas, which is again a software for qualitative data analysis, and it supports various research methodology. Then we have MaxQDA, which is again a qualitative and mixed method data analysis software that does managing, analyzing, and interpreting. Then there's Kirkus, which is again a qualitative data analysis, which has user-friendly interface. Then there's Dovetail, which is again a qualitative data analysis that emphasizes on collaboration and working knowledge. Remember, my friend, there are other four too. And that is Delve is there, and QDA minor is there, Qualtrics is there, and Thematic is there. All of them, look at it, are qualitative and data analysis software featuring different types, like Delve does coding, analysis, and reporting. QDA minor does different things like, again, coding and data analysis, etc. Okay. Then there is Qualtrics, again does quantitative and qualitative method and thematic, which is basically doing identifying themes and patterns in data. I am not going to consider any one of them with the exception of NVivo. And that is a very last section of my presentation. Most probably I will not cover the actual software. I have given it to you purely because I don't want you to spend time finding the source out. I've already done it for you. You just have to read it through that. I won't be able to complete that. So the most widely used one, which I tell you, is the SPSS, the Excel, SAS, Python, and I tell you Python is the most common. For qualitative one, NVivo, is the one that we will use. And if you look carefully, NVivo integrates both the quantitative and qualitative data. So NVivo is a very powerful package. So if you look, can you go to the next slide, please? So the choice of software depends on the specific research you are doing, the type of data you are analyzing, and the researcher's experience and preference. If you want to use mixed method, which is both the qualitative and quantitative, my suggestion is to use NVivo. Next, please. Now I start with you. So I've told you I have to do three things: R, Python, and NVivo. Is that clear? R and Python is relatively easy, so I will do the whole thing. So what is R? The question comes, what is R? R is an open source language which is a statistical computing, and it has graphics features. This is what is a part of GNU project. GNU stands for GNU is not Unix. That's what it means. GNU is not Unix. GNU is G, N is not, U is unit. So GNU is not unit is what is the name of that. It's part of that project. As I told you, C and Fortran, I'm trying to get away with it, but this project was done purely on C and Fortran. And it is operating system is Unix, Linux, Windows, or Mac. So the next one, next slide, please. What are the advantages of using this? Can we go to the next slide, please? You've skipped one. Yes, thank you very much. First thing is very easy to install. And you can get it working in few minutes. Nothing, no rocket science in there. As I told you, everyone knows C and Fortran. And there are a few thousand supplemental packages out there. It is open source with a large support community. So you will find help everywhere. There are many books, there are many blogs, there are many tutorials. You just have to go and look for R and you'll find all that. And frequently you find updates on that. This is definitely more popular than the SAS, Strata, and SPSS, but definitely not with Python. Be very careful. Now let's go to the next one. The next slide I'm talking about is what is this R for data analysis? And I tell you right now, R is very, very popular. Especially the statisticians, they love this package. The researchers, they love this package. Its graphical capabilities and packages like ggplot2 make it powerful for visual storytelling. So therefore, this open source statistical software, it is very good for complex statistical models and data visualization. So commonly you use it when you are looking at regression analysis, clustering, or time series. Next, please. Now look at this, my friend. I'm looking at a load forecasting in engineering. And if you look at this example, I've used R to look at the short-term electric load forecasting in a utility grid. The historical one is the one which is in blue. This is the historical feature, the blue one, right? And the forecasted one is the one which is in golden color, and the confidence interval is given in that shaded, which is orangish. So this model is predicting demand for the next 48 hours using R and the software which is there is ARIMA. This kind of analysis helps engineers and operators balance supply and demand, schedule maintenance, and reduce operational costs. And it took me about 20 minutes to do this. Very simple. So it gives you exactly what is the historical load, what is the forecasted load, and what is the confidence interval. So it's around plus minus 5 megawatt. Now I want to go and talk about the one that I would like you to understand very carefully, because I want you to work in this area, especially if you're an engineering student. I would like you to convert yourself to Python. No more those days of C's and C++ and Fortran and other languages. Let's go to Python. And Python is very versatile, very readable, and absolutely wonderful, and is so good. Most of the academia and industry people are using it. As a matter of fact, I get phone calls from industry that we can't find anyone with Python background. Can you please give us something? Even in areas like power system protection and all, which is my area, people they can't find engineers who have got this Python background. That's how industry has adapted to this. So if you are working with big data or machine learning, this is the go-go tool. So it's a general purpose language with strong data libraries. It has data libraries like pandas, NumPy, CP, matplotlib, scikit-learn. Very easy to learn, integrate, and use it as a database and web apps. It's a very popular machine learning and AI type of equipment. So it is so good that I insist my students nowadays, those who are my doctoral students, and I will show you two students' work today. One of them is on the verge of completion, the other one has completed. And I'll show you what they have done and how they've used Python. Here you can look at it, that what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you an import data. And this will be a file which will be on CSV or Excel. Then I will show you a clean data using pandas, and you can conduct the statistical test and visualize your results with CBOL. So I'm going to show you a typical data analysis workflow using Python. The tool will let you automate and document your process so you can repeat it and is scalable. So this one is a very common CSV or Excel. CSV stands for comma separated values. Now, as I told you, the libraries which are there is NumPy. Now, what is NumPy? This introduces objects for multi-dimensional arrays and matrices, as well as functions, which allows for easy performance of advanced mathematical and statistical operations on those objects. It provides vectorization of mathematical operations on arrays and matrices, which significantly improves the performance. There are many other Python libraries which are based on NumPy, and I've given you a source also where you can get that details. If you look at that, I've given you the source too. Then comes SciPy. This is basically a collection of algorithms for linear algebra, differential equations, numerical integration, optimization, statistics, and more. This is a part of SciPy stack. And this is again built on NumPy. And there is a site that you can get it. Then other library for Python is SciPy. Is SciPy. Sorry, can you go to the next one, please? Yes, is Pandas. Pandas adds data structure and tools, which is designed to work with table-like data. It is like a series and data frames in R. It provides tool for data manipulation, reshaping, merging, sorting, slicing, aggregation, etc. And it can also handle missing data. Again, I've given you a site for that. Then comes next one, please. Next one is site one before that. Yes, and scikit. Yes, that's the one. The scikit-learn provides machine learning algorithm. Here you can do the classification, regression, clustering, model validation, etc. This is based on NumPy and SciPy and matplotlib. Next one, please. Now, Chipishu, have you got the next one, please?
Yes, Professor Kalam, we're in matplotlib right now.
Got it. Thank you. The matplotlib is basically a Python 2D plotting library which produces publication quality figures. So it's just like as if you've got a publication in a variety of hard copy format. It has a set of formalities like those of MATLAB. There are line plots you can do scatter plots, you can do bar charts, you can do histograms, you can do pie charts, etc. This is relatively low level. Some effort is needed to create advanced visualization. Again, I've given you the link. But next, which is there, is Seaborn. This is again based on matplotlib. It provides a high-level interface for drawing attractive statistical graphics. This is similar in style to the popular ggplot2, which is a library, as I told you, in R. Again, you can find about cplot in the link that I have provided. So if you look carefully at my next slide, which is talking about the various form of Python toolbox or libraries I've got, NumPy, SciPy, Pandas, scikit-learn. All these libraries are installed on the computer system cluster of your institution. And you can have those visualization libraries with the help of matplotlib and Seaborn. Let's go to the next one. This one that I'm showing you is basically something that I did myself to show you a power usage modeling. And I'm trying to illustrate the model accuracy, the demand forecasting or energy optimization scenarios in engineering. So if you look at it, the blue plot is the actual power usage, and the hashed golden plot is predicted power usage. The one is the actual one, the other is the predicted one. Look at it, how close the two datas are. Then I can tell you myself that, look, I have predicted my power usage. And if you look at it, it's pretty close to the actual one. So it's a pretty good modeling, my friend. It's a pretty good modeling. The next one. The next one. It's a very interesting one. This is one student in South Africa. He's doing a DEng with me. He's a very smart student. Garth is doing this work, and he's looking at two biological inspired approaches. One he's using is genetic algorithm, and the other one is looking at is gorilla troop optimization. And this is the framework that he's using for a real world demand supply balance problem using in South Africa. And if you look carefully at it, all the optimization packages that he has used, if you look at it, this is what he has got from Python. If you look at the dotted one is one type, the lined one is another one, again the blue one, and that's the red one using the genetic algorithm one. The blue one that you see is using gorilla troop optimization, and that's what it is. And if you look at the way the theoretical quartiles are of those two values of different ordered values, you find how close it is to the two of them, both the genetic algorithm and guerrilla troop organization. And this has been done by a EIT student. Next, please. Now I want to introduce to you. Sorry. Can you go to the previous slide, please? Yes, please. Thank you. Yeah, no, this one. Before that, after that. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. This is another student of mine who has just graduated from EIT. He just did his DEng, a brilliant student. He works in Western Australia. He's a mature practicing engineer, and he's looking at artificial intelligence predictive simulation for low-cost hydrogen production. So he's looking at simulated electrical prices. He looks at the natural gas flow rates. He's looking at hydrogen demand and hydrogen storage level, all this for December 2023. And he's looking at all sorts of conditions. He's looking at dynamic predictive scheduling using weighted hybrid electrical forecast and recurrent neural network, and the gated recurrent units, GRUs, gas flow forecast. And if you look at the two of them, the top one that you see, the graph which is there, the blue illustrates the dollar per megawatt hour, that's the electricity price, and the red dotted one talks about the threshold. And if you look at it, if you look at in between, you find some spikes, and that's the spike that has occurred at that particular time. Look at the natural gas and hydrogen demand over time. The natural gas is the green color one, and the hydrogen demand is the one which is in red blue. And look at the two different. So if the gas was there alone, they would have been shortage. The hydrogen has come and taken the place of gas. Then look at the storage level of the hydrogen. Because we are using the hydrogen when there is shortage of the gas, if you look at the third one, the hydrogen storage level depletes because you are trying to supply the gas which is missing. All that has been done by Python. Again, that has been done by an EIT student. And the work is brilliant. All these work has been published. Thank you very much. Next slide, please. Now I want to introduce something that I will do quickly. I'm going to introduce NVivo. Can we go to the next slide, Chipisho? Thank you very much, Chipisho. Yes. So, and I told you right in the beginning, NVivo, I'm going to first explain to you, can be for qualitative analysis, because it allows you to work systematically through qualitative data. It makes it easier to manage large amount of, remember, narrative data, not data which is the real data, narrative data in words, and track analytical decisions. So this is a very specialized software for coding and analyzing unstructured text, audio and video, which you have done interviews with clients. Here, it supports the thematic analysis, discourse analysis, and grounded theory. It allows linking of evidence and visualization, say for argument's sake, word clouds, coding matrices, etc. Next, please. Now, the qualitative workflow analysis helps structure and analyze the qualitative data moving from raw text, which is in narrative, to interpretable themes. So, for argument's sake, I can import my interview transcript, apply codes to the data, group code into themes, and create visual like charts and images and maps. So what is NVivo? What is NVivo? I told you it's a QDAS, qualitative data analysis software. It supports qualitative, and I also told you it supports mixed method research. So it helps you to organize, analyze, and find insight in an unstructured or qualitative data like interviews, open-ended survey, responses, articles, social media, and web content. But it works more efficiently, my friend. You can save time. You can quickly organize, store, and retrieve data. You can uncover connections in ways that aren't possible manually. You can rigorously back up findings with evidence. Next, please. So, yes, next, yes, yeah, yeah. Thank you very much. Yes. What
That's
is
the
Q?
correct slide, right, Professor Kalam?
Yes, that's perfect, right. Don't worry. If it's wrong, I'll shout. So, what is Q dash? Q dash, which I told you, is qualitative data analysis software. There is no one right or best way to use Q dash. Q dash program are not the equivalent of SPSS, R, or SAS. It is more like a data management system. And as I told you, I'm using NVivo, but there are a lot of others one. You can have Atlas, you can have MaxQDF, QuickAust, DDoS. You can select the based on access, support, and resources. But you have to tell the software what you want to do. Next. So what are the limitations? What are my limitations of using Q dash? What qualitative data analysis can't do? It cannot analyze your data. Up till now, it is not. Maybe tomorrow it will, but now it's not. It cannot take control from you. You have to have the control. It makes the analysis process easy and fast. Support only one kind of analysis, say for argument's sake, grounded theory, ethnography, discourse analysis, etc. Next, please. Now, how can you afford, what sort of affordance is there? You can impose structured or unstructured data. You can make visible your analytical strategies. You can make your project portable. You can support collaboration with others. You can create an audit trail. It can assist you in every phase of your study before and beyond analysis. Next, please. So if you look carefully, you can create a textual laboratory to organize study materials. You can organize and review the lecture. You can capture field notes, social media, and other types of data. You can create a research journal to track your study progress. You can find every instance of a word in the data for preliminary analysis. And what capabilities are there? What capabilities are there? Can you go one slide? Yes, thank you. You can transcribe the data and connect it to the media file. You can create written reflections while reading through the data. You can visualize the relationship between codes to generate a theory. Keep on going, please. Next one. No, you went one step ahead. Yes. You can seek to gain a new you can seek to gain a new understanding of a situation or the experience or process. You can handle unstructured data. With the creation and management of complexity, the software will not teach the methods. So the next slide. When I'm talking about qualitative analysis data, I'm talking about reading of data, which is literally reading, okay, interpretative or reflective. Organization of data, that is indexing. Then the contextualization of data, which is holistic and case studies. You can draw the diagrams. You can argue with the data. It could be casual, it could be comparative, it could be evident, it could be narrative, it could be reflexive, it could be generalization. So in fact, the next slide, please. In fact, what they can do, you can do the searching, you can do the visualization, and next, please. And you can do all sorts of qualitative data analysis. You can do all sorts of qualitative data analysis, but you can collect your data, you can improve the quality, you can code your data, you can interpret the data. Next slide, please. So in fact, NVivo is basically a thing which can look at the typical data sources, okay, whether it's in narrative style, whether it's interview form, whether it's observation, whether it's diaries, whether it's focus group. You can have your basic functions. You can have basic components. Okay. So the qualitative data analysis, the QDAS, which is there, is a computer-assisted qualitative data analysis, and it assists researchers in performing qualitative analysis. Now, if you look carefully, there's a large variety of qualitative data analysis software, both free and paid license. Some are specialized. Is there in videos. You can look at all sorts of things like CAD-DQuas, QDA software. You can look at how to organize, manage, and analyze your data. Next slide, please. If you look at it, what is NIVO? I told you it's a qualitative data analysis. It does all the coding, it does all the markup tool designed to organize, analyze, improve the understanding of any unstructured or qualitative data, such as interviews, survey, responses, articles, social media, or any types of thing. What with NVivo, you can import data, I've told you. You can mark up text, video, or audio. You can ask questions about your data so you can identify the themes and draw conclusions, and you can visualize your data. So the manuals for there is there in Windows. I've given you that hint. There it is available. If you've got Mac, that's what is available. Now, things that you need to do, okay, when you are creating a project, okay, you must make sure that you save everything. Sometimes students forget to save their thing, and if you lose it, a lot of hard work is gone. So make sure that you save it on your local computer. Don't be dependent on USB, etc. Language. NVivo supports Chinese, English, French, German, Japanese, Portuguese, and Spanish. However, you can use any language. But, there are some functionalities that may not be available, such as stops words when doing a different work in different frequency. Make sure that you have auto reminders. Every time, save, 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 save. Enable user log. If you are more than one working on the same project, make sure that everyone is enabled. Make sure that you do teamwork, right? And I want to skip from there and go towards the end. I've given all that, right? I want to skip all that and come towards some important thing. And the one that I want to do is this. Come to slide number 74, please. 74, please.
Thank you, Professor Kalam.
74. Have you got to 74?
Sir, I have gotten to 74.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So remember, I told you, when you finish the project, make sure you save it. Okay? Save it in a format that is openable by non-NVivo users, such as RefiQday or anywhere where you have to use reusability. Let me show you a case study. Next one. Next slide. Let me show you a next slide. Okay? This is the cluster mapping. Look at that. And I'm showing you a screenshot of the software interface, of the interface and the visualization of the application in engineering, of all the displayed feature, and a cluster map or a heat map, which is showing how the interview had taken place and any additional panels. If you keep on looking at it, and you go to the next slide, you would find that I have done an engineering challenge by looking at grid stability due to intermittent renewable energy supply and battery system. And I am looking very quickly, at what sort of interviews took place. Okay, look at technical reports on solar panel, look at field notes, battery system, government policies, etc., etc., etc. So my coding themes are very simple: fluctuations in power, Intermittent of supply because the renewable energy supply, battery because I'm using that as a support system because the battery support system in there, grid fluctuations which is there, and load shedding which is there. So I can now see my matrix coding, my cluster analysis, I can see my word cloud and the interpretation. As you can see, look at the engineering analytics that has come with all the voltage sag, power fluctuation, battery operation, storage lag, etc., etc., and that gives you the intermittency of supply. So yeah, you can easily see, my friend, uh, you can easily see that what's the difference between voltage dip and the uh, near battery lag. Next slide, please. Next slide, which is slide number, can we go to slide number 78? If you look at it, my friends, very quickly, I mentioned to you about three of them: R, Python, and NVivo. I've given you some of the projects where you can find it. And I tell you right now, my friends, there are many free and paid resources to get started. If not, I do know at EIT, you can get your software access or any training support if required. NVivo, you can get it from QSR website because QSR is the originators, the university's libraries, YouTube tutorials, everything is there. Next slide, please. Now, this is an interesting one. Every tool has got its own strength. We are in slide number 79, Sure. If you look at it, everyone has got its own advantages. If you look at R, it's best for statistics. If you look at Python, it is best for machine learning. If you look at NVivo, it is best for textual data. The skill level that you require, look at that. If you require for R, you need intermediate is enough. NVivo, you can start from the beginning because it's a very long process. And Python, you have to be a beginner to advance. Data types that you can use are numerical. Python, you can use anything. NVivo is textual or audio video. Visualization is excellent in R and Python and pretty good in NVivo. Open source, both R and Python are open source. NVivo is commercial. It's owned by QSR. Next, please. So if you want to use R or Python, okay, make sure that you use it for quantitative or numerical analysis. Use NVivo for qualitative or text-based. Consider using a combination if you want to use a mixed research. There are other often projects which uses both type of data. For instance, survey data might be analyzed in Python while interview responses might be done and examined in NVivo. So in conclusion, if I go to slide number 82, if I look at it, I have given you actual case study. I've given you about public health researchers using R for epidemiological modeling. You can use policy analysis using Python for social media data mining. You can use education research by using NVivo so that you can analyze your focus group. These examples just shows you the type of tools that we have over different fields, that data decisions that are now the norm in many sectors. My final thing that I want to tell you is, next slide, please. My final thing I wanted to tell you was that modern tools enhance analysis precision, efficiency, and reproducibility. R and Python are quantitative, NVivo is qualitative, the future is hybrid. I don't know at the moment the future. I can only say that it's going to be hybrid, okay? But therefore, it's best to use both the quantitative and qualitative. Today, the thrive is a data-driven world. You have to be familiar with both the qualitative and quantitative tools. Start small, my friend, and build your confidence through practice. Next, please. So, as I mentioned, I have talked about modern tool analysis. I've told you you can get things in precision, very efficient. You can reproduce this. R and Python for quantitative, NVivo for qualitative. As I told you, the future is going to be hybrid. With that, I have completed my presentation, Shipisha. I'm sorry. I'm in time, Shipisha. I'm not too bad.
You aren't at all, Professor Kalam. You did the presentation on time. We did skip a couple of slides, ladies and gentlemen. However, because we do send you these presentations, you can go ahead and actually watch the presentation on your own, as well as go through the slides. We have about 5 more minutes left. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the chat box or the Q&A section, and then Professor Kalam will proceed to answer your questions. If there aren't any questions, then I will close the session for you guys, and then the video as well as the presentation will be sent to your mailboxes within the next 24 hours by the marketing team.
I just want to emphasize on one thing which Shipisha mentioned. These seminars, especially this doctoral toolbox, we are more interested for you to learn, and we are more interested for you to join our DEng program. That is why we are taking this and giving it a free seminar to everyone. We are not doing it in a commercial manner. We are just trying to promote EIT and promote the program, which is DEng, because it's a unique program. And this is the tool I'm telling you that I would like my students to use. I'm not bothered about other people. I'm only talking about myself. And as I mentioned to you, and I showed you two examples, one is of Garth and the other is of Alan. One is in South Africa, the other is in Perth. And I told you uh, that that this is going to be the future. And I can tell you right now, both those people have a fantastic future because they're using the most modern software, Python. Then there is how best one can get data from research analysis. This is not best. This is the best of the best. I want to make it clear that you understand that this is not best, Kabir. It is the best of the best. It is absolutely optimal. Which one is best for mechanical engineering? I told you that heat transfers, don't even think about it. Python. I'm in Kenya and really appreciate your time. Thank you very much, Roy. I too appreciate that you have joined our session. I hope it has been of some learning experience to you. Anyone else? I've answered as many questions I got. Sipishu, you've already told about the certificate, so I don't want to repeat about this. Okay.
Yes, Professor Kalam.
We have another 2 minutes. If there are any other questions, please let us know.
Okay. Once we are waiting for that 2 minutes, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to all our attendees for attending today's webinar. As I've mentioned, should you be interested in attending other webinars, please go on the EIT website and actually register for those particular webinars. I am going to leave all relevant links pertaining to registering for future webinars at EIT. I will also leave the links to contact our course advisor team and also to the Doctor of Engineering program that will be running. So as you are all aware, we have two intakes that happen for the upcoming DEng program. So one is starting on the 28th of July. However, this is closed, ladies and gentlemen, because I've mentioned before for Doctor of Engineering, you will need to apply well in advance. And then we have an on-campus in August. However, if you are actually looking to enroll for a Doctor of Engineering program, rather prepare now and prepare your application on time and hopefully join the intake that will start in January 2026. We are actually over, half the year is over, so January is coming right about the corner, and you can go ahead and register for that particular webinar. If you are interested in future Doctor of Engineering webinars, please note the next one is going to be on the 7th 7th of August, and the topic is Overcoming Writer's Block in Academic Writing, and it will happen right here on the same platform, and Professor Kalam will most certainly be your presenter. I think you have a last question
Yes, I've
from
seen that.
Hope.
I've seen that. Can I answer that question quickly?
Of course, Professor Kalam.
Hope, this is a fantastic question, Hope, and thank you very much for asking. Whether you are from third world country or anywhere else in the world, it doesn't make any difference. You have to work in the best software that is possible. Software is not expensive, as I told you. You can get most of this software free from the website. I think if you are looking at a very student-friendly one, start and end with Python. It is not only friendly, it is most useful. And you will remember, you have to make sure that you've got research which is of value, and that Python will give you value, added value, not only while doing the research, but after research also when you are working in the field. Thank you very much, Hope.
I think that should be it, ladies and gentlemen. As I've mentioned, you are going to have all these slides. The slide that is up on your screen currently is one for the survey form, not the certificate form. It's for the survey. If you have any ideas or any questions that you have for us, you can go ahead and complete the survey form, and we will be happy to assist you with any questions you might have. If that is all, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I will make sure to leave all relevant links in the chat box so that you're able to contact us should you have any further questions. As per norm, Professor Kalam, thank you so much for your time. I will see you in the next month.
Thank you very much, Chipishu, for your wonderful emceeing, and we'll catch up with you again next month. Bye-bye.
Bye, Professor Kalam.
And
Bye,
bye-bye to
everyone.
all the audience. Bye-bye.